A native of Sweden, Alexander Johnson arrived in Stillwater in 1858. Like many young men in town, he quickly headed to the logging camps to find work, and there he met another young Swede named John Nelson. Together they learned the business and saved their money, so that by 1866 they could form their own company. The Swede Boys, as they were known on the streets of Stillwater, were the first Scandinavians to own a logging company in the St. Croix Valley. 3 years later, Johnson and Nelson joined with other local investors to establish McKusick, Anderson & Company, building a sawmill on the St. Croix River just across from Stillwater. Johnson later diversified his business interests to include additional logging companies, downtown commercial real estate, and a clothing store. Although his business partner, John Nelson, was married in 1868, Alexander remained a bachelor and stayed at John Bourne's boarding house. Then, in the fall of 1875, at the age of 37, he married 18-year-old Ida Nelson. Johnson bought this property in 1879, not far from the home of his business partner, James Anderson, who lived at 220 Chestnut Street. Perched high on the top of the bluff, Alexander could look out his window and see his company's mill across the river. The home was also located just a few blocks from the Swedish Lutheran Church, where he was an active member of the congregation. In this house, Alexander and his wife, Ida, raised 5 children. In 1894, Alexander decided to build a new, more fashionable home, but he refused to lose his magnificent view across the St. Croix. So he tore down the existing house, where he had lived for 15 years. We catch a glimpse of the original house in this panorama view taken in the late 1880s. Johnson proceeded to build a new home, neatly fit into the lot on the edge of the bluff. That view is central to the design of this house, with its Moorish-capped tower on the northeast corner, and the wraparound spindlework porch. Facing the Chestnut Street steps, the home is entered through an elaborately carved and pedimented entry. Inside the house, it retains its original woodwork and inlaid floors, testament to the excellent woodworkers and cabinet makers of 19th century Stillwater. A local reporter was impressed with the new house, writing,
"In this season of general dullness and a year of financial depression, it's pleasing to note that the building activity in Stillwater has not suffered. A very handsome residence in a fair stage of completion is being erected on West Chestnut Street, at the head of the stairs, by Alex Johnson. Stillwater may indeed be called the city of beautiful homes."
2 years later, a large barn was added to the property, a structure that was later converted into the garage. A little more than a decade after his new house was completed, Alexander Johnson died on March 20th, 1905, eulogized as a good citizen, a good friend, and a Christian gentleman. The house remained in the Johnson family all the way until 1955. Some things have changed since the Johnsons built this house. Less than a decade after his passing, the local lumber industry, in which Alexander made his fortune, came to an end. But some things remain the same. As the newspaper said in 1894, Stillwater may indeed be called the city of beautiful homes.